Secretary of State Steve Simon today held his first press conference since taking office 3 years ago, if that's any indication of how urgent this cybersecurity question has become.
We know that the hackers will be back, and they will probably be smarter next time. And that's not just my opinion.
After Russian hacking efforts in the 2016 election, Congress approved cybersecurity grant money. Minnesota got $6.6 million, but Simon can't touch it until the legislature gives the green light. Secretary Simon's asking for $1.5 million of that federal grant money now.
And that's what we need from the legislature now, a simple authorization to be able to access part, not even all, part of the money that the federal government has provided for us for election security.
But Simon's election security bill was folded into a larger catch-all spending bill and may end up being vetoed, and that software upgrade to the 2004 system will be delayed.
But like anything that was built well in 2004, like that flip phone you might have had way back then, it's not so great now, certainly from the standpoint of security.
In other action today, Governor Dayton vetoed a bill that would have required doctors to let women know they can view an ultrasound image before an abortion begins. The governor said he relied on advice of medical organizations.
I oppose it because it said it interferes with the doctor-patient relationship, and I think sound medical opinion is what we should rely on.
Coming up at 6, major clashes today on bonding and taxes. At the Capitol, I'm John Croman.